Picture this. You're sitting across from her. Everything was fine 10 minutes ago. Soft laughter, warm eyes, a peaceful vibe. And then suddenly, she shifts. Her tone sharpens. Her face tightens. She asks a question that feels less like curiosity and more like a trap. Do you even care? Why didn't you text me back? What would you do if I left? At first you think she's angry, emotional, irrational, but what you don't realize, brother, is that you just entered a psychological exam you never agreed to take. A test you didn't know existed, but one every woman gives. And the truth I'm about to tell you will change the way you see every relationship you've ever been in. Let me be brutally honest with you. Every woman tests. Every single one. This isn't personal. It's biological. It's ancient. It's unconscious. For millions of years, the survival of her bloodline depended on one thing: choosing the right man. Not the strongest looking, not the richest, not the tallest, but the most emotionally stable under pressure. In evolutionary psychology, this is called a biological imperative, a hardwired instinct built to detect weakness, fragility, and inconsistency in a man's presence. She tests to answer 3 primal questions. 1. Can you regulate your emotions when she can't? 2. Will you stay grounded when things go chaotic? 3. Can she trust your leadership when her world feels unstable? Her nervous system is scanning, not with words, but with tension. A feminine radar, constantly reading your reactions like market signals. Here's where it gets scientific, brother. A woman's test triggers a neurological loop inside both of you. She introduces tension. Your brain spikes cortisol. Your response releases dopamine in her system. If your reaction is anger, you look unstable, over-explaining, you look insecure, people-pleasing. You look weak, collapse. You look untrustworthy. But if you stay centered, calm, grounded, if your voice doesn't shake, if your energy doesn't bend, her brain chemistry shifts immediately. Her cortisol drops. Dopamine rises. Her emotional system relaxes. She doesn't want a perfect man. She wants a predictable one. A man whose internal state she can rely on more than her emotions. This entire process happens below consciousness. She's not trying to hurt you. She's trying to feel safe. So let's make this painfully clear. Here are real-world examples of tests men fail every day. 1. The cold warm switch. She goes from affectionate to distant in the span of an hour. She wants to see if your mood becomes dependent on hers. 2. Boundary violations. She does something small she knows you dislike, not to disrespect you, but to see whether you enforce your standards or collapse. 3. Loaded questions. Would you still be with me if I gained weight? What do you even like about me? She's not asking for reassurance. She's asking for stability. 4. Delayed responses after conflict. She stays quiet, not because she doesn't care, but because she's reading the energy of your pursuit. 5. Comparison triggers. Other men would do this. Why can't you be more like him? She wants to see whether you fold, or whether your confidence is self-generated. And let me give you 2 case studies. Case study A, the over-explainer. He tries to fix every emotional moment with logic. She feels unheard. He looks weak. Respect drops. Test intensifies. Case study B, the stoic frame holder. He listens, breathes, responds with calm clarity. He holds his position without force. The test ends. Respect rises. Peace returns. Here's the bitter truth society doesn't tell you. Modern culture teaches women that testing men is empowerment. Social media romanticizes emotional chaos. Feminist messaging frames boundaries as controlling. Movies reward dramatic behavior. And men are told to be more emotional, share everything, just communicate. But nobody teaches men the psychology of feminine testing. Nobody teaches men how the game is played. You're thrown into a battlefield with no armor, no map, and every move you make is judged in silence. This system isn't fair. It's engineered. If you don't understand feminine testing, the result is predictable. You become reactive. You become anxious. You walk on eggshells. You lose your sense of self. And eventually, you burn out. The relationship collapses because she no longer feels your strength. And you collapse because you spent years trying to pass tests you didn't even know existed. This is where most men break. Let me tell you something that might sting. Women only test the men they respect. If she stops testing you, she's checked out emotionally. She's done. The connection has already died. And here's the hardest part. A man who fails her tests doesn't lose the woman. He loses her respect. And once respect is gone, love becomes a charity project. Here's the path back to power. 1. Emotional regulation. Breathe. Slow the mind. Control the body before controlling the moment. 2. Hold the frame. You don't match her chaos. You anchor it. 3. Set internal standards. Not for her, but for yourself. Your voice, your time, your boundaries. 4. Respond. Don't react. Short answers. Clear tone. No emotional overinvestment. 5. Reward. Respect. Ignore. Chaos energy follows value. You reinforce what deserves reinforcing. 6. Become the calm that ends her storm. A truly masculine man doesn't fear tests. His presence answers them.